I knew that this was going to turn out bad for me. And I've got it in spades tonight. Whoever was serving came around with the table and Dave put the plate of beans down, and somebody said, "What are those?" And she said, "Those are the beans." And he said, "What about the wiener?" He's going to be our guest speaker tonight. So, let's never do beans and wieners again as long as I'm the guest speaker. Again, thank you, Brad, for a very flattering introduction. And when I hear such a great introduction, I just can't help conclude that my life has been a bit of a steady slide downhill. I started off as a lawyer, and my parents were shocked and embarrassed. On the farm, I mean, lawyers were not something that we liked very much. Then I went on to become Premier of the province of New Brunswick, and they were horrified. They knew that I was going to bring a bad name to the family. And I say it with all respect to them. I love them dearly. I'm thankful that they were dead before I became a banker. That really would have been the Where I grew up, anybody who farmed used to subscribe to Mark Twain's definition of a banker. A banker's a fellow who would lend you his umbrella when the sun is shining, but wants it back the minute it begins to rain. And of course, that was then. Bankers have gone downhill since then. The reputation of bankers got even worse with the financial collapse in the United States, and bankers were losing their jobs by the tens of thousands. It was a standing joke in New York. How can you tell the difference between a banker and a pigeon? Well, the answer is a pigeon can still make a deposit on a BMW. Humor? So here's a little anecdote that I tell. When I do Upper Canadian banker meetings, I tell this anecdote, which they don't find amusing at all. Here it is. So a New Brunswicker walks into a bank in Toronto, and he asks for the loans officer. He tells the loans officer that he's going to back home to New Brunswick on business for 2 weeks and needs to borrow $5,000. But he's not a client of the bank. Well, the bank officer told him that the bank would need some form of security for a loan of that magnitude, so the New Brunswicker handed over the keys to a brand new Ferrari. So the car was parked on the street in front of the bank, and the New Brunswicker produced the title to everything and the keys and so on, and the banker said, "I'm going to have to keep it." And the New Brunswicker said, "You mean I can't drive it away and everything, you know that you've got title to it?" He said, "No, I'm going to have to keep it. I'm going to get somebody to come out and take it and lock it up, and we're going to have to keep it as collateral." Anyway, the bank manager and the bank employees all had quite a laugh about this New Brunswicker who put up a brand new Ferrari as collateral for a $5,000 loan. And so they were amused about that. And about 2 weeks later, though, the New Brunswicker walks up to the counter, and he said, "I want to pay back my $5,000 loan." The person behind the counter goes rushing up to find the manager, and the manager comes up and he said, "Look, there's something fishy about you. We've known it right from the beginning. We've now checked out your credit record, and it turns out you're a multi-millionaire. You started a high-tech company back in New Brunswick, and you're worth a lot of money. So what the hell are you doing? How can you be so stupid as to come in here and give us your new Ferrari in exchange for a loan of $5,000 when all the interest you have to pay on it is $23? He said, "Well, I don't think it's very stupid. Where else could you get parking in Toronto for $23?